I'm cool. I'm the coolest. Hanging out with young people all the time. Hello, fellow kids. Here I am. What's up, dude?
What's up? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. So, the funny thing is, I don't really like get into a whole lot, and maybe the people who if this is the first time they're hearing the show, or if this is the first time they're checking out the show, uh, cool, welcome, thanks for being here. You'll learn if you continue this journey with me that I don't really do like lots of intros. So like that was kind of it. Like the the name of the podcast, the name of the episode usually says the person's name in it. So if I start this big intro and then I go, reveal, it's their name. You already knew it was their name when you clicked on this episode. Hello, everybody. I'm talking to Ozzy Crash.
What's up? I'm Ozzy Crash. As you know from the description and the intro, that wasn't an intro. Don't call it an intro. But how you doing, Corey? How you feeling?
I'm doing swell, man. I just always I kind of thought maybe I think maybe you were surprised about me wanting you to do the show with me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm super green. I'm new to the industry. I'm happy to be here. Anyway, and I'm not talking the podcast. I'm talking the wrestling industry. I'm talking big meaty men with big chests and big muscles bumping meat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Bumping meat.
Bumping meat with Cory Kastle. That's not the name of the show.
No. Well, I was thinking about calling it that in the beginning. I was gonna have little pieces of T-bone steak that had bumper cars on top of them on the track with the antennas, and they were gonna bang into each other.
Oh, that would have been way better. Honestly,
it wasn't in
I'd go to that podcast.
I missed what you said. So I spoke right over you. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. That's my fault. It's my fault. You're all good though.
You were gonna say you're gonna have that podcast. Is that gonna be yours?
Oh no, that's not my podcast. I'm gonna ditch your podcast and go to that one. Yeah, I can be bought, and T-bone steaks and bumper cars sound pretty appealing.
T-bone steaks, cheese, eggs, and Welch's grape. Just a Biggie lyric, real quick. Just drop a Biggie lyric on you, right quick.
Dang, how old are you? Oh my goodness.
We had this conversation the other night.
Well, yeah, but this was more for the viewers. I was talking that mess as I tend to.
Oh yeah, people who listen to this already know that I'm 39 years old. I think mostly. I don't know. I should operate as if this is the first time anyone's ever hearing anything I'm ever saying, or the first time anyone's watching anything I'm doing. Hello, welcome. I'm Cory Kastle, and it's great to be your content that you're consuming at this very moment.
Okay, that was like 5 seconds of dead air. I feel like I should be talking more. I'm not really sure. You're the host, right? I don't want to interject too much.
You really gotta put less stress on yourself over it.
No, I'm not.
Sometimes, and it's really totally fine.
I'm not stressing like that. I'm just you're the driver here. I don't want to stomp on your little podcast here, even if it doesn't have T-bone steaks and bumper cars.
Yeah, no T-bone steaks and bumper cars. Like I kind of almost want to go like it's kind of fascinating to kind of like organically just converse with you and then answer your questions that you've got, and we're just kind of like similar to like the other night when we talked. This is the exact same thing. I'm just thinking like, whoop, this is on the record, except
well then we're perfect. We're just chilling.
Just two
I'll
buds.
Try and relax a little more. Two buds hanging out.
Two buds chill.
Two buds with big muscles and big chests bumping meat.
Chills and giving y'all's chills. Y'all's chills. So How did you come across the wrestling business?
Did you the business or like what was my in?
Yeah, how did you get into it? Like what? I mean, not like what got you into wrestling. Who gives a fuck about that?
No, yeah.
You are in it and you like it. What made you want to do it?
Well, I
Like,
guess there's a couple answers to that, right? Besides obviously, I grew up a fan and I just was close to a wrestling school, wanted to go. But my little brother, actually, I thought he was going to start doing this way before I was. Like, he's super in shape. He probably likes wrestling more than I do. And the idea was he was going to save up some money and then go to MCW in Joppa, which is like an hour away from where I am right now. But he got cold feet over the whole situation. Like, he just kind of thought that he didn't have what it took to just kind of go in here. And I was like, well,
dude, none of
that's
us do, but we do it anyway. None of us
but
do. We're figuring it out on the go. Like,
that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's kind of nonsense. So I'm like, screw it, I'll do it. And if I can do it, you can fucking do it. I can swear, right? That's not like an issue.
yeah, that's absolutely
So,
fine.
okay, great. I'm a potty mouth.
Yeah,
I have to bleep my promos. I can't contain myself.
understood. That's totally cool. I mean, I think I let an F word slip just a couple minutes ago.
All right, perfect. Even more relaxed than I was before. But anyway, I ended up instead of going to MCW, I moved back down to Virginia to kind of help like support my sister because she had just gotten out of a relationship and she was worrying about like bills at her apartment and things like that. And I was like, you know what? I'll come down there. I'll help support. I made friends with. It was actually one of my sister's friends, but he was just like kind of down the way, and we found we both like wrestling. And I was telling him about how I planned to go to MCW, and I was kind of bummed that I ended up having to move down to Virginia. And he was like, there's a wrestling school like 16 minutes up the road, right? I was like, 16 minutes up the road. There's a wrestling school that I can go to right now. So I ended up going to the Body by D gym and signing up with PWA, Pro Wrestling Alliance. And they were like a family to me. They took me in. I was super nervous just because like I don't look the part. Like, I'm not a big burly man. But I came down there and it was just a bunch of regular guys, and I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Like, I can do this. And I don't know, it was kind of special. Like, when I walked in there for the first time and I asked about the wrestling school, they brought me to the back and they showed me the ring. And I was just like, everything changed. When I saw a wrestling ring in front of me that I could just like get in, I was like, holy shit, man. Like this, like I'm doing it.
It doesn't the weight of it doesn't get on me enough to think about the fact that most people who like wrestling or like casually like wrestling or even the diehard fans of wrestling have never touched a ring before, have never like been in one. Chris Jericho, man.
Okay, what's Christian? What's he saying? He's got a promo right now. I'm not watching.
It was just they did a thing with the appreciators.
The Appreciation Society.
Yeah.
Those scallywaggers.
Yeah, and Cornette calls them the appreciators.
The Appreciators. I love me some Jim Cornette. Gosh, it's crazy because I had always kind of seen Jim Cornette from afar and just kind of heard like the opinions that were like shitty from him because like that's what circulates, right? It's just Jim Cornette says something and everyone's just like, oh, up in arms about it. And then I don't even know when it was, probably like a year and a half ago. I was like, well, I'm gonna check this dude out. And I'm just like, wait, this dude mainly has good opinions on wrestling in the industry. Like, I don't agree with everything, but I'm like, wait, this guy's kind of spitting facts.
Yeah, Jim Cornette is a better listen than people are giving him credit for. People go, look, oh, he's out of touch. Like, no, I think he is. I think he's just the right amount of it. There's some stuff, yeah, probably that he, maybe he like maybe flies too close to the sun on, but most of the opinions that he has are ones that come from a credible place.
No, I totally agree with that. Like, I'd probably disagree with him on like, his disdain for like gimmick comedy wrestling and stuff like that. Cause I love that shit. Like the sillier, the better,
It's
honestly.
kind of the nature of the beast now. Like all of it sort of is the nature of the beast. It's what the wrestling business has become, unfortunately. But fortunately enough for Jim Cornette, he's found a way to make a living off of it still. Like, how much do you think he's making off of his podcast? Those are like the number one podcasts and like merchandise sales and all this stuff. He seems like he's doing okay.
No, totally. He's got two podcasts. He sells like action figures and all this merch. And
So
I
as
don't.
much as the current wrestling sucks, it's making him his money.
Oh, yeah. You think current wrestling sucks?
No, as much
That's
as
a hot take. That. Oh, okay. I was about to say, wait, that's a Jim
I
Cornette
don't
take. Wait a minute.
I don't think current wrestling sucks. I think current wrestling's awesome. I
Oh,
think
totally agree.
some of it sucks, but I mean that's the nature of it. Some stuff's gonna suck. Not everything's for everybody.
No, but that's the great thing about it is there's so much wrestling that's accessible now that there's not too much to complain about. Like, yeah, you can watch Raw and be like, oh, this is a boring, unwatchable product. Which, quite frankly, at this point in time, I don't think that's a very good take anymore.
It gets
But
there.
but if there's something you don't like, you could just watch something else. Like, there's definitely something for everybody out there.
Yeah, I think we can. We could probably create a whole new fan base. I think that like the fan base of pro wrestling from day one. Uh, let me just say my day one of fandom and of wrestling probably came 96, 97, something like that. So like, I think there were so many fans and like Stone Cold happened and The Rock happened and it was so NWO happened. It was such a like a powder keg of the
Yeah.
time. There it seems almost like there's got to be that now. It's just that people did the fade away. They faded away from being wrestling fans. And like,
Yeah.
there's got to be a pop that makes it go, oh yeah, this is why we loved this stuff. And they fell off because it kind of like became mostly a product for kids. So then most people thought like, oh, that's something you kind of got to grow out of because it was like mostly just like little kid stuff. And
Yeah.
mostly little kids were watching wrestling because for a while it became a monopoly of a children-based company.
Yeah, just like appealing to like families and stuff like that,
So
PG era, quite literally.
like bruised the entire sport.
Maybe I don't really know because the thing was, I remember growing up because I'm young as hell, right? So like I was a kid in like 2007 2008, but even then I remember everybody watching it. Like I remember being able to. I mean, I guess that's what you're saying. I was a kid, but I just remember going to school and everyone talking about what was going on. And now it's like I swear it's like Christmas when I meet another wrestling fan because so many people it's just not
I
their
think
thing.
around that time when you were a kid, it was aimed at you. I don't remember.
I wouldn't say that though. I remember feeling real awkward sitting on the couch with my parents watching Lita and Edge get it on in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, but it eventually became it more became aimed at little kids. So people who were growing up, the product wasn't growing with them. And I think that might be something that needs to be re-explored. Like get like something that's got to grow with the kids. It can't just be for kids and only for always kids. It has to be for kids and for people who are growing, like the kids who are growing. Like
Yeah,
I think the majority of people who are wrestling fans are very casual wrestling fans. They're not like very diehard wrestling fans, but like I don't know what it'll take to make anybody who's a very casual fan become more diehard. I mean, other than like something they like radically identify with.
See, I see it the opposite way, honestly. I feel like all the wrestling fans at this point are the diehards. I feel like all the casual fans kind of left. You know, like if you ask someone about wrestling, most of them are like, "Oh yeah, I loved that back in the day." You know, Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. Like, or you get the whole 9 yards. You talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh my gosh, dude, John Moxley's been carrying the company on his back." Like, I don't really see a lot of in between. That might just be me and my interactions, but I quite frankly think there aren't enough casual wrestling fans.
Yeah, let's make an effort. Stamp it right now. Let's stamp it. We're gonna make more of an effort to create more casual wrestling fans.
That's perfect. Yeah, we'll do a call to action. We'll start putting up flyers like it's a indie show for like Raw and SmackDown on bulletin boards and
casual wrestling fans don't get in on the chance as well. Maybe we had to be casual.
casual. Yeah, yeah.
Casual.
Unfortunately, I don't think this is the podcast to convince casuals to start watching wrestling.
No,
I think this may not be the best platform.
no.
Unfortunately,
Who really knows what to do? I think honestly that everybody who is a wrestling fan that's that big of a wrestling fan should be telling all of their friends about how great it is, and like convincing their friends not to be so like hard-headed and just eliminate your skepticism about this, because it is something greater than what you are giving it credit for, because you're closed-minded for some reason.
I think so. Like, I definitely kind of understand like the notion of people just kind of looking at wrestling and viewing it, through like their own scope and just being like, "Oh, it's fake." Like, we've all heard that. We've all heard that.
Yeah. It's very dismissive of the people who are involved. Like, it's really like I just put it up a thing the other day that was my friend Kurt. He's a filmmaker. He said fans of ballet or non-ballet fans don't ever like talk about ballet or malign the art form, or anybody who does like ballet and go, "Oh, like those stupid ballet fans." They think that's actually a swan.
Straight up. Oh, you know that organized dancing is staged,
Oh,
right?
it's so fake.
It's all predetermined.
That girl's not a real swan. Yeah. Well, it's like everything that you watch is structured in some way. So, I mean, everything is a work. I mean, sometimes football games and baseball games aren't as real as you think they are. The score is structured by the officiating and by the sponsors and by the town. And like, there's way more to it. There's advertising dollars behind everything going this certain way and everything going that certain way, so that we kind of all consume the things that give them the money that they want.
Oh, for sure. That's how TV deals work in things. All the entire NFL schedule is just made around TV deals. Like, I'm not talking like it being like a work or anything like that. Like, I super don't believe that. But it's like, yeah, like the NFL season. It's like all the games that they have. It's not just to play the games. It's like, oh, we're gonna have these two teams play because that's gonna be a great primetime matchup, and NBC is gonna get this one, and then CBS is gonna get this one. So it's like,
you don't think that has anything to do with the results of the game?
No. I will definitely die on this hill that I don't think it's staged.
I mean, I don't know, but I know.
Well, I don't know either.
What's that?
I said I don't know either.
I'm not claiming to like, here's a new conspiracy that I'm subscribing to, but for the most part, I mean, reality shows aren't reality, and
no, reality shows are bullshit. Those are all producers.
What's to make you think that all those things that you thought were real aren't as real as you thought they were? I mean, it can kind of make you like, when stuff gets exposed to you as being a work, do you then question everything?
What do you mean by that?
Like when you find out Santa Claus is your parents,
Mm.
do you then go, what else am I being lied to about?
Maybe a little. Like, not to get like too deep into it, I'm not a big conspiracy theorist or anything, but I think it's very
Okay,
good to kind of
careful, folks. He's
oh,
going to
no, no,
admit
no,
that he
no,
still
no,
believes
no,
in
no,
Santa
no,
Claus.
no, no. Yeah, I start crying. I'm like, what do you mean Santa's my parents?
He's like, he wrote me a letter. I have it in this frame.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Corey, like,
It showed up cold.
presents under the tree every year. I don't know what you have to say about that. Checkmate. No, but like, definitely there are a lot of things in this world that just you kind of realize that there are other forces at play in the way a lot of things work, like money in politics, and that trickling down to like corporations and things like that. So in one sense, yes, finding out like the truth about something can kind of warp your worldview to be a little bit more cautious and suspicious. But I'd say that I kind of view a lot of things suspiciously. I think a lot of people do. I think that's just human nature. I kind of feel like our general like curiosity that just kind of like drives mankind kind of lead us to sift things out in that way. So I wouldn't say that like me, finding out something I didn't know before like shatters my worldview and makes me feel like some type of way about everything. Because I kind of think that's more of like kind of a default place to be in. Like I feel like we're just all kind of trying to look at things beyond their surface value, anyways, just to kind of understand them.
As Lion-O would say, sort of omens. Give me sight beyond sight.
Now, I don't know about sight beyond sight. That's a little much. Come on.
Come on, you're asking for too much. You can't. You know what? Let's give it to somebody else. Somebody else is gonna now say I have the power, and ho, not you, Lion-O. Why don't you sit this one out, pal?
Were you more of like a Thundercats kid or a He-Man kid?
I think that both of those things were while I was too young. Like I remember liking them a lot, and I remember having all of the toys for both of those things, and like being a fan of it when I was a kid, but never enough to like stick with it or like return to it. So
Oh, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of people, especially nowadays, like really take what they liked as a kid and kind of put it in the forefront of like, I'm not going to say their whole personality.
well, like I have a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff. I was a big Ninja Turtles fan.
Oh, I loved me some Ninja
But
Turtles.
I don't go back and rewatch all the old cartoons and stuff. Like they probably aren't very good. But I mean,
No, you're looking at them with nostalgia goggles.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Like it was said in the movie Dogma. Your faith is like a glass, and and it's got to be repoured. You drank it all, and you got to repour it, and somebody's got to refill that glass, I guess.
What things like from your childhood have you say have like kind of stuck with you, if anything?
Stand-up comedy mostly. I mean, I'd say like I liked stand-up comedy when I was a kid, and I still like stand-up comedy really the same, if not more.
Well, I guess that makes sense because that's an entire like brand of comedy. Like it's going to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like go back and like watch old stand-ups that you like feel fondly about?
I mean, sometimes not like way old, but like definitely like the the early 2000s maybe. Like I don't watch stuff from like the 70s and 80s and stuff, but
Oh, I can. I love me some George Carlin.
oh yeah, I do like some George Carlin sometimes. Sometimes I like some Pryor, but I can't watch it back all the time.
Oh, of course not. That's the kind of the thing about stand-up comedy is it's not really subverting your expectations if you're rewatching it.
Right. Yes. And I never really got into Bill Hicks, but like, give me a reason to. I mean, I laughed at Mark Maron. Mark Maron did the joke about Bill Hicks yelling yelling at some lady who he was bombing on stage in front of, and he said, "I'm a poet. I'm a fucking poet." And then the lady screamed, "Tell us a poem."
That's some good heckling.
Yeah, yeah.
She was quick with it. Oh my goodness.
Really, she had that right in the quiver to pull it right out and shoot him with that one.
Were you a big Bill Cosby fan?
No, not really. I mean, I watched the Cosby Show when I was a kid, but
Oh, yeah, same.
Everybody did. I mean, it was on Nick at Night all the time.
Oh yeah, reruns. I had a box set of like season 3, so that shit broke my heart.
Yeah, I used to watch the show that he did, the Fat Albert show. I watched that too when I was a kid, and
I never really got into Fat Albert. No,
I mean, it was cool when you're a little kid and you're watching cartoons. Yeah, I thought it was great, and especially because it was Cosby doing it, and we were all fans of Cosby when Cosby was big. Like we were all kind of fans of Cosby, and it was cool to have Cosby be the voice of these characters. Like, yeah, I watched. And what was that on Fat Albert when he would draw stuff on TV?
that sounds like it. Like I said, I wouldn't know. I wasn't a big Cosby, not Cosby Show, Fat Albert like consumer. It was a little before my time.
Yeah, it was a little before your time. Yes. Were you born in 2000?
No, okay, I'm not that young, but 98, so pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah, 98. Yeah, so you're a young pup, dude. 98 was the year.
I'm a young buck.
I was 14 in 98, and that was the first year I took bumps in a ring.
That's crazy. You could have babysat me.
Yeah, I could have. I mean, I had no attention span, so you would have probably got hurt. But
nah, I was a pretty safe kid. I was really low maintenance. Put me in front of a GameCube, and that'll be fine.
What was the best GameCube game?
Oh, okay. Shoot. I played. This wasn't until I was like older. Like when I was younger, I played, like Animal Crossing. I played Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'd say the game I got the most mileage out of though was probably Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Yeah. Like I don't think the game has aged very well. Like trying to play it after a decade and a half of playing like Skate and it being like physics based, it's kind of hard to get back into. But by God, that soundtrack! Oh my goodness, I still listen to so many songs that are on the soundtrack of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Like no one, I don't know if that was like Tony or a development, like a team of developers that put the soundtrack together, but
or something.
Neversoft. But they did not miss. They did not miss.
Doing everything I can.
Exactly. Goldfinger? That shit's timeless. Goldfinger, man?
Yeah. Yes, I got the PlayStation. For PS4 they re-released 1 and 2 as a one console game.
Oh yeah.
And I got that and I played it like crazy for 2 or 3 days and then I never played it again.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh man, I used to love these boards. All right. These songs, man. Cool. All right. I'm losing and tired of this.
Yeah. That's the sad reality. I really don't think the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games have the replayability that Skate does. Like, cause like Skate, you can really just dick around. Like I have fun playing Skate, but Tony Hawk, man, it's all right.
I never played the Skate game, But I was
You've never played Skate?
No, I was into Tony Hawk Underground games too. I thought those were good.
Oh yeah, no, the story for those games go hard.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'd say they hold up. Like not just nostalgia. I just think it's like there's a certain charm about it because it's very like not too edgy, like early 2000s humor.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think it's fun.
Yeah, and I always thought it was cool to see Bam Margera in those games and stuff.
Yeah,
I was a big fan of like CKY. The when those were big.
Oh, that's a throwback. You were watching like stunt and skate videos.
I was
That's
watching.
crazy.
I was watching CKY, like all the CKY, CKY 2K, CKY 2K2 or whatever. I like CKY 3, CKY 4. I think CKY 4 was probably like the one I watched the most. And then Haggard, when that came out, that was the movie that they had written, that I guess Bam had written, and it was like Brandon DiCamillo. I was a big fan of Brandon DiCamillo. I thought he was so funny.
Damn, nah, man. I'm a young buck. Okay. I grew up on Jackass.
Well, I mean, Brandon DiCamillo was on a little bit of Jackass.
Not everyone was on a little bit of Jackass. If you're a skater or a stuntman, you've probably been on Jackass.
Here's a story that I don't know if I've ever told, but back in the day, it was probably 2001 or something. I had like exchanged email addresses with Rake Yan from CKY. You know, the guy with the long hair was like, that guy.
Yeah.
And we were going back and forth with the emails, and I sent him DVDs of CZW at the time.
Yeah.
Because, that's where I was. And I was like, hey, man, like, would you want to come through to a show and like do a stunt in the ring? And he was like, yeah, I'm all for it. And like gave him the day, and he didn't show up, and then we never talked about it again.
Damn.
And then I saw him again at a CKY concert like 7 months later or something. And he's like, oh, you're going to kill me, dude. And I was like, why are you saying that? And he's like, we just shot an episode of Viva La Bam with the wrestling ring. And like, we had these wrestlers and stuff. And I was trying to find your information and I couldn't find it.
Son of a bitch.
So I would have been in the Viva La Bam episode with the wrestling ring with my friends if Rake Yan had found my information.
Man, missed opportunity.
Bastard.
Something that can truly only happen pre-social media.
Yep. Ah, damn it. I looked for your info. I couldn't find it. And he was like, I think they used Midian or something. like a mask or something. Remember Midian? Or was it Gideon? What was the guy?
Gideon sounds more correct, but I think that's just because that's a name.
No, I think it was Midian. It was the guy who used to have he was in the Ministry of Darkness. He was like the nudist guy in WWF. God, what else? He was in the what the hell was that name? That name of that team with the hog farmer guys.
The hog farmer guys.
Yeah, it was a Hillbilly Jim managed them in the 90s.
Man, you're killing me here. You're putting me on the spot. I can't take it.
Can't take it. Anyway, but the 90s in WWF was a real crazy thing, huh? Did you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
When you started like getting into it, did you like have to go back and like watch all that footage? Did you go back and like relive that nostalgia?
Here's the thing about that is Yeah, like I had, well, I guess my dad, he had a couple of wrestling tapes, but they were all WCW. My dad was definitely a WCW guy. The only thing he really liked about WWF until, like maybe the like the turn of the century was The Rock. My dad will stand by that The Rock is 100 times better than Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't even add him. And Taker. And they were both in the product when I started watching. So, but yeah, for the most part, no, I watched a lot of old WCW. I don't know that I retained much. I watched a lot of Benoit. Definitely made me want to be a technical wrestler until I like got in a ring and I was like, nope, this shit is hard. Cannot do that. Like I'll get there, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I just kind of expected to be able to go in there and just like intuitively be a technician. It's like, nah.
Because you watched it on TV.
I mean, kind of.
You're like, you know what? I can do everything I watch on TV just as good as the people who are doing it on TV.
And I'm like that. Well, that's the crazy thing is like all the shit that I thought was going to be incredibly difficult is that's the easy part. It's everything that I was just kind of like, oh yeah, dude, fucking, I can do that. No, that stuff,
Can you
that's the
give me
hard shit.
examples just so that I can understand that a little clearer?
No, just like moves and stuff.
Yeah,
It's like
I'm saying, please, like, be more specific. What moves are
okay.
you talking about?
I guess like taking a power bomb and then giving just like basic things, suplexes, hip tosses, body slams. Like that's the like especially slamming people, like picking them up and slamming them down. I was like, I'm a little guy, I can't do all that.
That was gonna be
It's just easy. Yeah, it's like like they're posting. Like it's not that difficult. But then just like locking up with someone and like chaining, it's like holy crap. Like that's hard. And it's even more difficult to make it look like natural and not stiff. I kind of thought because like I'd seen bad wrestling, you've seen people like lock up and start chaining. You're like, come the fuck on, man. Like you can do easier.
I feel like you can go to a show and watch two people lock up and try to chain around and then not know what the fuck they're doing, and then be like, why am I here? Why am I considered on the level of these jabrones who don't even know what the hell they're doing? I've seen it. I've been on so many crap shows. In comedy, we'd call them hell gigs. I've been working hell gigs as a wrestler for a very long time.
What's the worst match you've ever been a part of? Like, have you ever like been in a match and you're just like, we got to go home, brother. Like this shit's not working.
Well, there's a part of me that thinks that like there's like an ego that like there's a part of me that goes, oh, maybe I can save this. Anytime it's been so bad, I just try to save it and make it better, and it's not getting any better. But it's tough for me to pinpoint anything as like a great example of when it's been really bad. But I have to say, back. Okay, I think I've told you this before, and I'll just kind of cheat. I'll kind of shorten it, cheat the story a little bit, just to make it more succinct. But when I first started, I started at a school that wasn't a respected school. It was barely like it was like some dudes just built a ring in their garage, and they used to be wrestlers at another wrestling school. And they were like, oh, we think we can do something better. So they built their own school. And I was, I was not really trained correctly. And one of the dudes who was like the adults there, was this guy. I can't even remember his name. And I'm not going to say it because I don't want to. He probably knows he sucks, and he doesn't need the press of going like, "Oh, Cory's bashing me on his podcast." One of the adults who was there, like as one of our trainers, I came across him years and years later, and they were like, "Oh, you're going to be working with insert name here." I can't let's say his name was Francis. They're like, oh, you're going to be working with Francis over here. And then I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to keep it super simple, right? Because I know this guy doesn't know how to really work. But like maybe he's been around it long enough that he kind of like sniffed up the right answers, right?
Yeah.
And, I called like a real simple 2-step start, and he blew it like the first 1 second. So like he had the most blank, I don't know what the hell I'm doing look on his face when I went for the hip out of the lockup. He was like, and had like a big panicky look on his face, and I was like, this guy doesn't know how to work. And and then I was trying to salvage it, and it was still bad. And I don't remember it ever getting better, and it was the shits.
Well, yikes.
I don't remember how long ago it was. I know it was for Da Montoya in Levittown somewhere. And it was at a venue that I used to go to when I was a kid to watch wrestling shows. So a lot of it was like, dude, I got to wrestle in a lot of buildings that I used to go to as a fan as a kid. And I think that like really, that really scratches that nostalgia itch.
That makes sense. I'm excited to wrestle in in like Joppa or Hollywood, like any of the MCW places. Cause like I didn't really get to see a lot of wrestling growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But so the first indie show I ever went to was an MCW show in like 2018, maybe, like pre-pandemic. Like the first wrestlers I ever saw in person that weren't, at a live show or whatever were Bobby and Robbie, who's the tag team. They were a comedy gimmick. You probably know Robert Locke. He's the current MCW champion. He just took the strap off of Ken Dixon. But it was really funny because
I don't think I know him.
Dang.
Not to say that I might not know him. I mean, like,
no, you might. I'm not saying you're expected to. I'm like, hey, no, this is the.
If we like ran into each other at a room, we're like, hey, bud, what's up, dude? And, like that probably would happen, but I don't know it to hear his name. Like I know a good amount of MCW people.
Yeah.
But like I don't know their names right off the if you were to list them. Like I know Ryan since we were both young. Ryan
McBride,
yes. And Keikoa.
Love me some Keikoa. Yeah.
Who else? MCW people do I know? I don't know. I'm totally blanking now.
But, it's okay. I don't expect the whole roster call of the MCW.
Mm-hmm. Right,
but yeah, Bobby and Robbie, first guys I ever saw, they were like I could tell they had been there for a while and just kind of hadn't like broken out otherwise. But they were just there. They were just a couple guys and they just went, hey, and they were like silly, right? Fast forward when I started doing this, I'm on social media and, I'm making my Instagram and just like following everybody. Like if you look like you're a wrestler, I'm going to follow you just to kind of like get a good like idea of everyone around here. And now Robbie wasn't one of those people, but I remember coming to my phone and seeing like Robert Locke started following you. So I go to check out his account. I'm like, oh my God, it's Robbie. I made it. Like, like, oh my gosh, the first wrestler I ever saw started following me before I even started following him. It's like, oh my goodness, it's real. Like I'm really here. I'm really doing this, which is like silly and stupid. But I've been doing this for under a year.
You know what? Don't minimalize it. Like for sure, like maintain humble inside of it. But really, it is awesome to be like I've done it myself where I am now not now working with, but now have worked with and have been around just as long or longer than the people who I used to watch when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I get to be like, hey, remember I used to go to see you at shows when I was a kid. Now people get to say that to me. So I get to
That's
be
insane.
both ends of that. And wow, what a cool thing to be able to do. Like I love a good little compliment. I'm
Do you
like,
ever sign autographs?
yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like cut off your train of thought. You can keep going. That's a pretty simple one to circle back to, you know?
yeah. I mean, nobody really wants it. Who wants autographs anymore?
It happens. I've flagged some people down. I've had people like come up to me at shows and be like, "Hey, you know Victor Walker?" I'm like, yeah. Can you get him? Can you get him to come and sign this? Yeah, dude. Fucking of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's important for people to have that memory to bring it with them. Like I
Yeah,
remember I used to get autographs at shows when I was a kid. Like I went to a bunch of ECW shows when I was a kid. I got a piece of a table that like Sabu and Cronus broke in a match. And I
that's
had
pretty sick.
Sabu signed it and like RVD signed it and like Bam Bam Bigelow signed it and and then I had a program that had like Nova signed it and Danny Doring signed it and Roadkill and all like the big TV names in ECW.
Yeah,
In that time, I was getting all them to sign my stuff. So I get it. I get it. But like
I get it.
our shows aren't like that anymore. Like,
Yeah, I understand. Mostly just kids because they're
yeah.
just like, "Oh yeah, you're a wrestler." They don't.
Like they
know
don't
anything
care.
about wrestling.
Like they want me to sign something. They don't even know what my name is. Like if
Yeah,
I could write ding bop on the paper and they would be like, oh, this is exactly who I got there. Oh, later on, look at this. This says ding bat doom ba doom. And it's like, it was it didn't matter. But it does. I mean, I guess it does because I mean, if we made some kind of impression on a kid or if made some kind of a impression on a fan or turn them into a fan that they weren't going to already be, I think I operate a lot of times by thinking like a lot of the people who are in the crowd, just like I said when we started this, a lot of people who are in the crowd already have figured out that they are going to not like this and they're going to be a skeptic and they're not going to be able to suspend their disbelief and like be haters on wrestling, but then watch me and kind of start changing their mind or be maybe more invested or maybe get into that match a little bit more or maybe like have some takeaways to go like, I'm gonna remember that, I'm gonna remember that, oh, remember when you did this or whatever. Like when my girlfriend comes with me to show, she's like, remember when you flipped that guy? And I'm like, no, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking. Remember that time you flipped? No, not at all. But it's real fun to have somebody who's that supportive and loves me. I really love it a lot.
that's great. You have your number one fan.
Yeah. And it's funny, like you think about like not wanting to like date one of the fans, but like it's cool that she only was a little bit of a wrestling fan when she was a kid and she watched it with her dad or something. But like sometimes when they're like too into it, it's kind of weird.
Too into it.
Like
You get
they're
like stalkers.
no, they're like too big into wrestling. Like it's I don't know. It's weird. Like I don't think I've ever dated somebody who was as big of a wrestling fan as me. And if I did, I would think that was kind of weird.
Oh, I understand. Like there's like something charming about like having something that you're passionate about and then being able to share it with someone in a way where they're like, oh, it's so adorable that you're so into this thing. And you're like, yes, you should watch this thing. You should watch this match, as opposed to just kind of seeing eye to eye on like being fucking marks.
Right.
And then just like every other person you interact with.
And it's cool because Alyssa watches wrestling like a kid. and it's so fun to watch. Like when she watches, she's like, "Oh yeah, you like." She's like, "Kick out!" Like she, it's really fun. I appreciate it.
Okay. Are there any matches like in recent history that you have gotten that into? Like you like completely suspended your disbelief and you're just watching it with childlike wonder? Really?
No,
None?
no. I mean, I think there's matches that I watch that I like, but nothing that makes me go,
Oh
yeah.
no, yeah. I'm talking about that drama. I'm talking about like that place in your heart where you're like your heart's pounding and you're like, oh come on, kick out.
Um,
I'd say the only match in recent history that really affected me like that was probably Cena and Roman.
mm-hmm.
Cena and Roman definitely did things to me. I had a whole bunch of people over, and
It did things.
everyone there except one person was a Cena fan.
Mm-hmm.
And like I knew he wasn't gonna win, but I was just like, dude, fuck Roman Reigns. I've been on a roller coaster with Roman Reigns because like I remember I went to the Mania like the first live event after like 2020. And I was just like, I just think Roman's gonna win. I think this is gonna be a thing, and it was. And I watched him just one by one, just beat every single competitor on the roster. So finally, when Cena came, I'm like, please save us from this. And after Cena, inevitably lost, I was like, you know what? You know what? I can get behind this. I can get behind this. You know what? I acknowledge the tribal chief.
The tribal chief acknowledged.
That was until Royal Rumble, and now I feel all types of ways about it.
because of the Sammy
Yeah.
Zayn
Oh
beatdown.
my gosh. I'm up. I'm really upset that they like. But I thought it was perfect. First of all, I thought it was perfect the way they did it. It's just kind of upsetting that they kind of blew their load in the whole thing because it was definitely the best thing going on in WWE. And I know that, Sammy's not going to get his Mania moment. And, come Survivor Series next year, we might not even be talking about Sammy, in relation to the bloodline anymore. And it's just kind of like, it's like, man, I was glad I was there for the ride, but it's a shame it's coming to an end,
I don't think. I think maybe you may be underestimating Sami Zayn.
You think so?
I think we'll still be talking about Sami Zayn by SummerSlam.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're too easy to give up on somebody you're such a fan of.
Oh, I wouldn't say give up. I just kind of.
I'm kidding.
I feel like I'm talking about the bloodline storyline. I really do think that we're coming to, at least the next chapter of the bloodline, and
Yeah.
I don't know that Sammy will be a part of it. I would have booked it the other way. I would have. I probably would have had Sammy win the Rumble, and Cody come out, cut a promo, maybe do something with him. I would have had Cody Roman at Elimination Chamber, and I would have had him. I would have had Cody lose because of Champion's Advantage.
Well, I do think that most likely what's going to happen is Roman's dropping the title Mania to Cody,
Yeah.
and then going away. I think Roman's going away after Mania for a while. Who knows where? Maybe he's going to be in movies or something, but he's not going to be. He's not going to be touring with WWE anymore. He's going to be doing something else.
Little R&R.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with. I don't know what's going to happen with Sammy, but like I don't think he's going to be out of the picture. Like there's going to be something going on with him at this point. Like he's already been brought up this high. He's not going to fall back down.
All right. Maybe I've just seen it happen too many times. Like I think the last like 3 years of wrestling has like brought like mistrust and just kind of, people gaining momentum and then just like fucking Like, get back down.
Yeah, I guess
You can go back to the mid card that we don't promote. Just like, ooh.
What are you doing out here in the main event, you curtain jerk? Get back in the first match.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens. I think everything that's been going on with the company, the AAA, not everything, because it's a process, but I think
I'm
that
sure there's things that we don't know, and it's fine that we don't know what's
oh
going
no,
on.
we shouldn't know.
Yeah.
We already know too much. Wrestling fans are too smart.
Right. Yeah. So at this point, I'm giving the show right to you as far as the host duties. So hypothetically, the show is yours at this point. So at this point, ask me anything you want to ask me, or say anything you want to say. The steering wheel is yours.
Oh shoot! Well, if I had known the floor was going to be mine, I might have asked you less during this podcast. Shit. I feel like I'm already scraping the bottom of the barrel in terms of like stuff to talk about with you, ask you.
Oh, the bottom of the barrel, huh?
Oh yeah, the bottom of the barrel, and there aren't even any steaks there.
No steaks, no T-bone steaks. So I'm sure that I have probably plenty of stories or opinions about some stuff that could probably help you out. I don't want to say help you, but I mean they could be something that would be important in some way for you. And I want to say, like, while we're on the show,
Yeah.
while we're right here on the record, I know this is, your what is this? What's today? All right. So what? It's February, right?
Yeah.
So you're still pretty new at the whole thing. I'm glad that we can do this right now. Do this little checkpoint, this little pin drop right here. Drop this pin. Now, I'm hopeful to see what happens next, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to witness the evolution.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm the next generation, baby. I'm coming up. I'm getting my call up. The future's now, old man.
Was this a Macaulay Culkin?
No, it was I was patting my baby face. That's what
Macaulay
it was.
Culkin? Macaulay call up?
Macaulay call up. I'm gonna start calling every single NXT call up Macaulay call up from now on. That's great. Well, I guess while I have you here, I don't know if this is necessarily great content for the podcast, but while I do have a veteran here, I've noticed walking into locker rooms is really awkward, right? Because like I love chatting with people, but while I am super green, and I mean I don't think this will change even when I've been in the business for a while, but I get there, I shake everyone's hand, I help with chairs, maybe ring crew setup and all that, and then there's always this awkward time where I feel like I should be doing something, but there's not really anything to do, and I just feel useless, right? I'm just like, damn, I'm here, I'm not doing anything. And I don't even know if I should be doing anything, but like during that, 2-hour window before people are calling matches and everything's kind of set up. What's your best advice to like what I should be, or I guess what one should be doing, like during that downtime, like in the locker room?
I don't want to say should, or I don't want to should on you. Like I don't want to say what you should be doing. Like I know the answers.
What an old vet may think
what I have done myself,
mm-hmm.
and what I'll say worked for me. I would go be around the wrestlers who were that were the type of wrestlers who I'd want to be like, and I'd pick their brains, and I'd kind of try to understand the psychology of why these things happen the way they happen in the ring, and like what led them to make these decisions. Kind of like how I host a podcast now. I always want to like ask people their origin stories mostly. So, I mean, I was part of like picking the brains of vets, or that doesn't necessarily have to be vets, just people who are there that can contribute some knowledge to you that will help your career.
All right. So
And also
then
then
we'll,
get in the ring if there's ability to get in the ring
yeah,
and do some stuff.
I try to. I get nervous about that, especially if I don't like know the bookers. Like when I know the fucking, you know, what it's like, oh yeah, they're using Wes Rogers' ring. And it's like, oh yeah, I have no problem just like getting into the ring. But if I don't know the ring, I get like very like nervous about just like getting in there. But okay, let me set you up a scenario then. Let's say hypothetically that you're a veteran in a locker room, and I come up to you and say, hey, you know, you've been doing this for a while, and I'm really at the beginning of my career. What are some things I can do to just kind of help improve? Like not like I don't even know. I don't even know what I would ask. You know what I'm saying? How do I get good? Like what?
Well, all that comes with time, man. You have to know that experience is the very best teacher.
Mhm.
So you're gonna learn by doing. And right now, the only doing you can do is is really talk and listen.
Yeah.
Like you can ask and listen. I don't know if you really should do too much talking, but you should do a lot of listening. Like you should definitely be watching a lot of matches, dude. If you have Peacock, if you have the network, like do your research. Watch a lot of like stuff. Like I used to watch a lot of Christian. Christian was really crisp. Like if you just go, hey, I'm gonna pick a wrestler and I'm gonna just watch every single thing they do. I'm gonna watch every match they have just to kind of get a better. But back then I had to had someone, one of the tape traders made me a compilation of Christian stuff. It wasn't like I could just go on YouTube and type it in.
Yeah.
You know, so like you're in this great generation. Take advantage of it. You can watch everything that ever happened in the WWF. Like, do you know who Chuck Payne is?
Not familiar.
Okay, Chuck Payne is a wrestler out of Jersey, but he went back and he watched every episode of Raw consecutively from the first year to current, like on the network. He was doing that. He was doing that and talking about it when we were on a road trip together. But that's freaking awesome. I mean, if you could do that kind of research, like it's also a good piece of work to do to find out like what got over then, like
Yeah.
what was the crowds into, like what was that time frame like. Look around at like what the kind of t-shirts people are wearing, what kind of signs people are holding up, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That is good advice. Thank you for that.
Yeah, you got it, man. I think, man, like if you have something of value that you can offer to somebody who like deserves it, like if you have a skill or something, or like, you know, you do art or something, say, hey, like, hey, do you need art made? Do you need, you know, do you need something? Do you need me to draw something? Or I like that idea. I think you know, show that you have some worth in some way.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe be somebody that's cool to hang around, so people will not be opposed to you coming back.
I do like that. I try to make good impressions on people. I fancy myself a social butterfly. So I just try to, you know, rub off on as many people as
Walk
possible.
around and give everybody a high five, high five, high five, high five. Yeah, I mean, maybe know the buildings, know where the fire exits are, know where the bathrooms are. Like, make a mental map of where you are, and you know, I mean, that's a thing you can do anywhere you are. Is just kind of like notice where all the exits are and where the people are coming in and where the people are going out. Just to scan the place. But I mean, like I was also saying, like if you have some video editing skills, offer those up. If you have some music skills, offer those up, and just kind of like give what you can give, while you're also taking the knowledge of the business, and you're gonna you'll find that more people maybe want to like teach you stuff. More people will want to see you learn stuff.
Well, damn. I'll think about that. I know that sounds very like a generic response, like, "Oh yeah, man, good advice. Wow, thanks. I'll sure think on that." No, but like genuinely.
Thank you. Dude, I think it's pretty clear that like I'm happy to be a resource for you in any way.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I don't really know you. But I want to.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna link. I mean, hell, I'm here right now. We're learning about each other,
Yeah,
and I'm the type of person to keep in touch. Maybe I'm not maybe the greatest at doing it all the time, but I'm definitely the kind of guy that's just like, you know what? I'm gonna call this old friend. I'm gonna hit this person up on Instagram. I have a bad habit of this kind of a tangent. I don't even know where this came from. I have a horrible habit of just like, Friday, Saturday night, just like getting drunk and then going on my wrestling account and just like commenting on everyone's shit. Like everyone's shit, just like talking that mess. I got into like I got into like an online like back and forth with Vladimir Koloff for a really long time. That was really funny. I talked shit about Ken Dixon on Action Andretti's page. I don't know that was the best move, but
please be careful to not.
I will.
Before you ever get bookings.
Oh yeah, no, I think about that, especially the next day. I'm like, oh man, that was really. But I don't know. I like putting myself out there. I think it's fun to just kind of rib on people and get some back and forth as long as I know it's in.
Then you lack accountability by going, it wasn't me. I was playing a character. It was a gimmick. My gimmick was that I was drunk and offensive. I was in character, in gimmick.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that bad, except for the Ken Dixon stuff. I really did. I hope no one close to Ken is listening. I really did. I really did kind of bury Ken Dixon. I feel kind of bad for it, but like,
what did you say?
So are you familiar with his arrest? Like, was that?
No, I don't know too much about. I mean, I very peripherally know Ken Dixon.
No, yeah, everyone does. He's around. He's a big guy. Well, accounts of it kind of go back and forth, so I don't want to get like too like. I've heard some specifics that I almost don't even believe about the incident. But there was like a kid who was like heckling in the crowd. He was working babyface at the time. There was like a kid who was heckling him in the crowd, and he like I've heard anywhere from that he slapped the kid to that he picked the kid up and slammed him. I was just like, oh man. So I don't know. I got a kick out of that. Not a kick out of it. Like, haha, funny kid got slammed. I'm just like, damn, I can't believe he did that shit. And I don't know. Something about drunk me that just likes digging that one up in particular.
I mean, it's not. You're talking about hills to die on. That's not one of them.
Ken Dixon, not a hill to die on.
No.
Well, you know what? That's the best advice anyone could have given me.
Who knows what happened? You don't know what happened, but that it did happen. If it did or if it didn't, like if that was the case, like he's already got to live with that. He's got to live with himself for being dumb enough to make that mistake. So just let him have it. You don't have to. You don't have to bring it back up. It's not serving you in any way. All it's going to do is get you blackballed before you ever get any bookings.
You're probably right about that.
So, Ken's a good wrestler. I mean, I don't know.
that he is. Like I
So,
said, I'm a big MCW guy.
no. So, but if you want to like learn from him, it's probably best to not be his enemy. Like if you want him to teach you some stuff, he might not want to even be associated with you in any way. That sucks. And what access did you have to people who you were a fan of when you were a kid? People who could actually do something for you or do something to you that would ruin your entire career.
Yeah, I don't need all that.
What? No. Say, sorry, Kenny. Sorry, man. I'm an idiot, and I like your wrestling, and I want to be somebody who studies under you. Like
I can formally do that. Here, I have a platform. Hi,
Go
Ken. Hi, friends of Ken. Hi, fellow MCW fans. This is my legitimate, honest, formal apology for giving Ken Dixon flack online. I was out of line, and it was immature of me. And in the future, I will not, do that shit because it's not right. Listen to Cory here. That way. Yeah, it's the Cory here. He's the vet. He knows what's best, and he put me in my place. You can clip that if you want.
Sure. You have the ability to do those as well. You don't need my help.
Oh, I wasn't asking you. I was telling people, but I did. I can clip this. What?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Go right ahead.
I'm not clipping that.
Just a couple more things real quick, and then I'll send you off into the sunset with a hot dog and a handshake.
Nah, I've heard that one before. I get a lot of those.
So, this audio, this platform, this stage, this microphone, this stuff, this recording is outliving us. And who's to say that, who's to say that we're going to be around in 20 years? But, like, regardless of whether we are or we aren't, this episode right here, 191, stumbles across the people who love you the most. Your who knows, your future kids, your future wife. 20 years from now, they're listening back to this to find out what their dad or their husband was like, or your parents are trying to find out what their kid was like. And in this very moment, you're speaking directly to them. This is audio time travel. You're a capsule. You're a time capsule right to those people. The next words that you say are directed towards them and not me.
Well, shoot. Hi, everybody. Probably myself. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully, I'm still around. Well, you're young and you're stupid, but you're doing this, and I hope that. Well, this is, you know what? First, I'll speak to myself, and then I'll speak to everyone else. But you, Ozzy Crash, you're young and you're stupid, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but you might do a lot of things right. And I just kind of hope that you can look back at this time right now, 2023, and know that you've made the right choices, that you've put in the work, and that you've stuck to this. I hope you're in an amazing place now. Not that I'm in a horrible place as I am. I'm quite happy, but just I'm proud of you. I don't know. Can I tell my future self that I'm proud of them? Is that how that works? Is that how time travel works? I don't know.
You could possibly say that because, like, at least what they've done is live long enough to listen to this episode of the podcast. I'm proud of you for getting as far as you've gotten.
No, exactly. Shoot, but yeah, everyone else out there. Damn, I wouldn't even know what to say. Well, if I'm dead, I'm sorry I left you. But I'm now immortalized in the in episode 191 of Evolving with Cory Kastle. That's an awesome number. It's a palindrome.
Yeah.
Shoot. I've really been put on the spot here. I don't know what else to say. How you guys doing?
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
No, that's not spoiler. They have the spoilers.
They're
They
gonna
have the
be,
knowledge.
yeah. Give me the spoiler alerts. Text them back if the technology exists to text back, like
Oh
where we're.
yeah, if you have access to time travel, anything like that. I know space time continuum, and you don't want to mess with the flow and stuff. And I'm the type of person to be like, well, I don't have any regrets because they are where I am now. No, there's got to be at least one thing where I put my foot in my mouth or something like that, egg on my face. You can help me out right now. So definitely do that. That's all I have to say to you. Thank you so much. I love
and,
you all.
and future people, future world, uh, future selves. Uh, hit subscribe. Hit subscribe to the show. Go ahead and follow it. Go ahead and if this is your first time listening to Evolving with Cory Kastle, or your first time checking me out, the first time have ever heard of me, this is the first time you ever seen anything I've ever done or watched anything I've ever done, dude, go ahead and check out the archives. Go back or follow me on Instagram or on Facebook, facebook.com/evolving with Cory Kastle. And man, stick with me, man. I appreciate you guys so much. I say constantly, and if you've heard me say it, cool. It's fine to be said a bunch of times because we consume so much content throughout the day that some of the very important things sometimes get lost. I want to make it known how much I appreciate the effort, the currency of your effort and your attention means more to me than the money in your wallet. And the fact that you've spent any of your currency here on me makes me want to ask you, um, just uh, comment sometimes. Tell me tell me what you think of the show. Maybe hit me up in DMs. They're wide open, as you can clearly see.
Oh yeah, I right on brand. I crashed this party. I hit him up. I was like, hey, put me on your fucking podcast.
Yes.
Maybe in a little bit more words.
Yeah, it was something different, but it was happening something like that. Yeah, go ahead and reach out to me anytime. Um, Continue to feel welcome to do that, and you know, um, the way we wrap up the show is normally. Do you know who Jerry Springer is?
Yeah, Jerry.
Right.
Is
Jerry
that what we do? Do
Springer
we chant Cory?
on the end of his shows, he would do Jerry's final thought. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So hypothetically, I'm gifting you this show. This has been your first episode of Evolving with Ozzy Crash. In a very Jerry Springer's final thought type of way, how would you wrap it all up in a pretty little bow to give us the best takeaways to inspire us to be a better version of ourselves?
Oh, you had me until the end there. Be a better version of yourself. Oh, I mean, just fucking be nice to people, dude. Like, it's not that hard. Like, just be a cool person. Don't be poopy. If you're poopy, come on, cut all that out.
Quit doing the
Quit doing that. No, like genuinely, just like fucking like even if it's just little things. Call a relative. Your grandma probably doesn't get a lot of people on her line. Just call her. Just call her. Come on, like you check up on your friends. You know, even the ones that you think are okay. Just check in every once in a while. They'll appreciate it. I guarantee it.
Do you do any impressions?
Oh no, not on the spot.
What's your best impression?
My best impression was Goofy, but I haven't done it in a minute. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that. I'll give you a little like something like anecdotal though, like just to leave it off on instead of be nice to people.
There is no instead. I'm sorry about that, pal.
Oh, there's no instead.
There's no instead. No, this is them's the rules. It bees like that. but if you don't want to do it, that's totally fine too. But usually I say like in whatever your best impression is, if you'll say the catchphrase that we end on is be fun, have safe, keep evolving.
All right. Be fun, have safe, and keep evolving.
That's great.
Thank you.
That was really good. Everybody, like I said, if this is the first time checking out the show, make sure you keep on checking out. Subscribe on the YouTube. Leave a comment. Let me know you exist. If you see these clips, share the clips up, man. And be kinder to yourselves, man, all the time. Be kind to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. No one else knows every thought that you have and every expectation that you have. Like, it's not as much pressure as you think it is. Pressure like a drip, drip, drip. That'll never stop. Let it stop. Be fun. Have safe. Keep evolving. And